Would Provost Gingrich and the Grand Marshal please escort the Honorable Cory Booker to the lectern, please?
Cory Booker, your tireless work as the 36th Mayor of Newark has supported the transformation of New Jersey's largest city. Your unwavering commitment to improve public safety, expand summer youth programs and services for seniors, bring jobs to the city, provide affordable housing, and make government more accessible has improved the lives of the citizens of Newark and ultimately has benefited the state of New Jersey. The son of civil rights activists who were among the first African American executives at IBM, you learned at an early age the power of community engagement and educational opportunities. Your own education in political science, sociology, history, and law at Yale, Oxford, and Stanford universities prepared you to make significant contributions to society and fueled your passion to make possible for others the opportunity to derive the benefits of education. You are a role model through your actions, having directed a mentoring program for low-income youth and free legal clinics when you were a student, working as a community activist after graduation, and as a Newark councilman, proposing a wide variety of initiatives to improve housing, the lives of young people, public safety, and the government process. In recognition of your contributions to public service and the city of Newark, Montclair State University proudly bestows upon you, Cory Booker, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Mr. Kennedy, as president of Montclair State and on behalf of its faculty, I am proud to present the Honorable Cory Booker for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Thank you, President Cole. By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the State of New Jersey and the Board of Trustees of Montclair State University, and upon the recommendation of the President and faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, privileges, and immunities thereto appertaining, of which this diploma is written witness. Congratulations, Mayor.
I am so excited to be here. I am Red Hawks. I'm so proud to be here. I have to tell you, I am an unabashed, unashamed, and incredibly proud Jersey boy. And to be here today in front of young men and women who are truly game makers, who are world changers, who are the difference makers of the future, who are all from now, for a significant part of their lives, the state of New Jersey, from one of the finer institutions, not just in our state, but I believe in the United States of America, makes me proud. And to think that I'm doing it on the same stage that Bruce Springsteen sang on last night. Bruce. So I want to tell you, graduates, a few things, but first, know how lucky you are that today you are not surrounded by my family, because for every graduation I had the most obnoxious family in the crowd that there was. They were the loudest, the screamingest, the jump. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is my mom here? You guys think you're incredible, but let me tell you right now, my parents got banned from an arena because they tried to start the wave at one point. The FAA got involved at one year because it was an outdoor or a nighttime graduation. and the sustained burst of flash pictures blinded incoming planes. But I have to tell you this, after the graduation was over, I would be besieged by all of my family, aunts and uncles, cousins, grandparents, my brother, all shouting at me words of wisdom. But first, of course, there were the jokes. My grandfather would saddle up and say, "You see, boy, the tassel is worth the hassle." Then he would go, "I guess you didn't graduate magna cum laude or summa cum laude. You were just, thank you, laude, thank you." As I went on with my degrees, my dad would say, son, would you stop? Would you get a job? You got more degrees in the month of July and you're not hot. But then the advice would come. And I know that advice is some of the advice you will get. I'd have family members tell me, never forget that the degree you hold was paid for by the blood, sweat, and tears of your ancestors. They tell me, boy, never forget that you can learn more from a woman in the community on the 5th floor of the projects than you ever can from one of these fancy professors. They tell me, never forget who you are. Never forget where you came from. Never forget that you can always come home, but we prefer you to have your own apartment. So I would like very quickly to distill all of their advice down to really two simple things. And the first one is what I believe is the most important or critical question you must ask yourself in life, not just as you plan your larger career, but also as you think about every moment. And the critical question is, will you accept conditions as they are, or will you take responsibility for changing them? Will you submit to the world as it is, or will you stand up for who you are? At the bedrock of your being are values, are ideals, are perfect intellectual aspirations, but the world does not reflect that. Your choice is, will you allow the bedrock of your being to be eroded by the world and the powerful cultural streams, hedonism, narcissism, consumerism, or will you stand up and resist and demand change and fight for progress? Now, this may sound lofty and ethereal, but I tell you, it is practical and can be applied every day. It was soon after my graduation from a great high school here in New Jersey that I was on a plane ride out to California, and I was praising God above because it was a packed plane, and my 6'3" tight end body had 2 open seats next to me. I was thrilled. I saw that the Lord was shining down upon his son and allowing him tremendous leg room. I didn't know what the saint of leg room was, but I was praying to that saint of gratitude. But then after the door of the plane closed, it flew open, and I suddenly heard, as if somebody hooked up a major sound system to a nuclear powered generator, the screams of a little baby. And in walks a woman holding a toddler and carrying a young woofer and tweeter in her arms. And everybody on the plane that used to be struggling and to get comfortable suddenly looked incredibly happy and looked over at me and said, "You poor boy." And my words with God quickly changed to, "Oh Lord, why hast thou forsaken me?" And this woman sat down next to me, 3 bodies and 2 seats, and immediately I was confronted with a choice. Will I accept the conditions, or will I take responsibility for changing them? So I turned around and I looked at the young boy, and I started making jokes. I made every face imaginable at that baby, trying to get it to stop crying. The woman was relieved. She was so embarrassed. And before you knew it, the plane was off, and I was playing tic-tac-toe. I was playing Connect Four, and all these games I could think of. And then I resorted to my worst jokes I had to keep the young man entertained. And I told him about the tomato family that was walking down the road, and little baby tomato falls behind, and daddy goes back and steps on little tomato and says, "Catch up."